And we're live. What's up, everyone? Today marks the first episode of a new series called Thinker Thoughts. This is just where I'm going to get a bit real with you guys regarding just pretty much anything that I feel needs to be talked about, or just things that I want to get off my chest, where I feel like I can provide value or try to in any way help someone that needs to hear something that could resonate with them. So, yeah, today I just want to talk about the concept of like just having faith. Faith can be a pretty difficult topic to pick about. I think it's because people quickly associate it with God or with like a religious point of view. Um, but I believe faith is something that doesn't really need to resonate with something like that, like an upper, you know, an overarching force. I just think faith is just, it's in the form of just having belief in anything that you're doing because you're doing it. I just feel like a lot of us are very insecure in the things that we're doing because we're scared of being judged by others. And so I just think that the concept of having faith in yourself and just having belief in yourself is truly a skill that can always be mastered in a better way. Um, and through losses, through difficulties, um, it actually it's a way for you to empower this belief in yourself. You get stronger, you get wiser. Um, so this concept of self-belief, just touching on like a personal anecdote. If you guys don't know, I'm currently going to university. I'm in my third year. And when I started university, I moved here to Italy, and I was actually living alone in this house I'm in right now. So I had to do my cooking, I had to do the dishes, I had to do my laundry, prepare my clothes, just all these, like, keep the house clean, just do all these things that I previously wasn't, accustomed to. And so in the beginning, like, having to do all that, university was 1 hour away. Um, on top of that, I had to stay ahead with all the school, which was very, very hard, a very rigorous school program. I just broke down early, and I broke down hard. I had breakdowns pretty frequently, pretty constantly, and I just honestly, like, I lost all faith within myself. Um, and it's just because I just anything that I tackled, I realized that it wasn't working out. Like, I wasn't getting good grades. I wasn't fit. I stopped playing soccer, which I'm a huge fan of. Um, and I let go of all these things, and it sort of got. I think the switch was hit at around the second part of the first year, where I remember I was just so angry, and I began studying. I began working hard, but out of anger. But it was a really tough time, and I drove myself to therapy. I had to seek a psychologist for some time, just because I wasn't at the right place mentally. I was just very isolated. To be honest, I was just alone. But through that studying in the second half of the first year, I was able to get my first decent grade, and that was sort of what, as I said, flipped the switch. It gave me a more positive light. I was just in this deep, deep tunnel of negativity, and then I just saw this little light just like shine for like a little second, but it was there. So I knew I had to keep walking. And that was just sort of the bulb that switched for me, that faith that sort of began settling in back into my life. And with that, I got confidence. I kept going. I got my life slowly back together. So in my second year, I joined my first soccer team. I met new people. So I got out of that lonely, corner I put myself in. Um, and so that just goes to show, I mean, to the people out there watching that everyone needs to go through some form of, difficulty, whether it's loneliness, whether it's depression, whether it's being heartbroken. I mean, all sorts of things. But the point is that, through those things, you become wiser, you become stronger, and you truly get a lesson out of these things, also about yourself, because at the end of the day, I got through it. I could have dropped out of university like a lot of people do. I could have just, you know, I could have taken very different routes, but I decided it wasn't my life. I wasn't supposed to do that. And just because for myself, and I got through that hurdle, man. I got past it. And so just this concept of having faith and the belief that it's going to get better. Um, and so, if there's anything I could say is, what's a strategy? What's one way that someone could practice the act of self belief? I mean, I don't feel like I've mastered it. I'm very insecure in many different fields. Like, especially this one, like doing a podcast like this. Like, I don't feel, you could hear it in like the way I'm breathing heavily. I'm a bit, it's not easy to do something like this, but this is part of my process in try to believing in myself more and just putting myself out there. Um, but as I said, I just think everyone needs someone to talk to. Now, this could be a psychologist, this could be a friend, right? But I feel like to be self confident and to be grounded within yourself and who you are, you need to have like the assurance that someone has your back. The problem with this is that, people come and go. There's some people that come, you think they have your back, and then, when you least expect it, they turn. Or, sometimes people are just too busy for you, you know? And so that's why it's just the concept of faith can also be applied to a supernatural force, right? Whether it's God, whether it's Allah, whether it's Buddha, or no one, it like the supernatural force could be you talking to your own faith, like you talking to your own soul, which seems completely out of this world. But even saying a sentence to yourself like, yo, I'm going to have a good day today, or yo, dude, I mean, this happened, but I'm gonna come back from this. And like honestly, like when I thought about doing this myself, the first few times I would say, and I would just look at myself in the mirror and think like, what am I doing? This is so pointless. But like a sentence each day goes a very, very long way. And so I just think that could be a very like clean and easy start for you to take. Like self-assurance, like building that self-assurance and knowing that at least you got your own back.